Hello students, let's get started to our next lecture on the subject pumps and actuators. Okay, so we're done with the swatch bit. Let's move further to our next pump, which is related to radial piston pump. Radial piston pump is having total 5 pistons working together, and these all are connected to a pentagon. Okay, this is the pentagon which the surface of the pentagon is attached, or the connecting rod of the piston has been rest on the surface of the pentagon. When the motor rotates, when the rotor rotates, it is actually having, see, I will explain it in the diagram. This is a motor. Okay, this is having a teeth, means actually this motor has been attached to a gear, and this gear has been attached to a pentagon like this. So as soon as this motor rotates, the gear rotates, and because of the gear, the gear is engaged with the pentagon, okay, internally. So the pentagon also rotates. So all this working takes place because of the rotation of the gear or the motor which is attached to a gear. Then the surface of the pentagon is attached, or the piston connecting rod of the piston is rest on to the surface of the pentagon, and because of that the suction takes place in each and every piston. Okay, so for a particular time of period it is acting as suction, and then it is on the next section or next particular time it is delivering that discharge. So when I am adding up all this discharge together, I am getting a complete continuous fluid as an output. Okay, when I am talking about a piston pump, it is actually a discrete type of a fluid supplier, but in this process, because of the radial piston pump, it is actually working in that area which is considered to be neglected from the piston pump. Okay, this is actually, the piston pump is delivering the continuous fluid with the use of radial, while acting as a radial piston pump. Okay, so when I am talking about the radial piston pump, it is actually giving a discharge, continuous discharge instead of discrete discharge. Now we will move to a next topic, which is related to actuators. Actuators are actually the devices which converts the power of pressurized hydraulic oil into the useful mechanical work. Actually, we have actually dealt with the actuators in our last lecture, so because of which we will actually know what is the function of the actuator. So we are just going to deal with that. Actuator converts the pressure energy into the mechanical energy, and in this complete process we are just converting the energy from mechanical pressure energy to mechanical energy, or the useful energy. Talking about the single acting cylinder, this is the first type of actuator. Single acting cylinder is having a piston attached to the spring. Okay. When the fluid supply takes place, this piston will move in the backward direction. This piston will move in the backward direction, compressing the springs, and because of which the fluid gets compressed, because of which the piston spring gets compressed, and the piston moves in the backward direction. And as soon as the pressure energy of the spring exceeds the fluid supply, it will start forcing the piston to move in a flow direction, because of which the compression of the fluid takes place and the discharge of fluid is done. Okay, over here the single acting cylinder is actually acting because the compression of the spring and retraction of the spring. The symbol of the single acting cylinder is like this. when we are dealing with the hydraulic circuits or pneumatic circuits, we are going to draw the single acting cylinder as normal rectangular blocks having a piston in it and the spring on the backwards. The spring denotes it is actually a single acting cylinder. If there is an absence of the spring, it actually gives us a hint that it is a double acting cylinder. So while drawing single acting cylinder, be precise drawing the spring properly. This is a single acting cylinder. See, when I am talking about the inlet, okay, see the spring gets compressed, because of which it retracts the position of the piston and forces the piston to move forward. Okay, so this is a discrete kind of a supply in which a particular section is allowing the fluid to move in. Then the spring gets compressed, and because of which the pressure energy has been generated in the spring, and then when the spring retracts to its original or normal position, the fluid gets discharged. Okay, so particular section is having a discharge section, discharge period, and the next period is a suction period. So it is actually a discrete type of a supply. And when I am talking about a double acting cylinder, it is having two nodes or two ports which are actually acting at inlet and outlet positions. So this port 1, this port 2, when the fluid is getting inlet, the fluid gets filled inside one region, and because of which the piston will move backwards. Okay, piston will move in the backward motion. So up to here the fluid will piston will move, and once the fluid get discharged or disconnected from here, the in the next section we will inlet the fluid in the next port, because of which the fluid gets inserted inside the second area, and which creates a new pressure on the piston and forces the piston to move in the forward direction. Okay, and forces the piston to move in the forward direction. Okay, like this. So because of which the already filled area will get discharged from here. So this is the working of double acting cylinder. See. Okay. Now it is filling. Okay. When the first port is filling, the second port gets discharged, and when the second port gets filled, the first port gets discharged. This is a simultaneous working of the first and second port, because of which we are calling it a double acting cylinder. It is actually double acting. Okay, both the ports are double acting. Firstly it is acting sometime in the suction mode, and then it is acting in the delivery mode. So this is a complete dual nature of the pump. So because of which we call it a double acting cylinder. Then tandem cylinder or a master cylinder. Over here two pistons are there attached to a single connecting rod. This is the first piston, this is second piston, and we are having a single connecting rod. When the force is applied, the green fluid is inserted. Okay, green fluid is inserted, and because of which the movement gets easier, and we can easily push the fluid further. Okay, when I am pushing this fluid further, the piston over here moves further, and because of which the discharge takes place. Okay, and when I am talking about the retraction, like this, moving in the right to left direction, the piston actually allows the pink fluid or the second fluid to gets inside, and the discharge of the green fluid takes place. This is related to the tandem cylinder, which is having a single piston, and the two connecting rods attached to it. Okay. Next, comparison between hydraulic pump and motor. Hydraulic pump is related to the hydraulic oil to the system. Okay, it actually pumps the hydraulic oil to the system, and hydraulic motor produces a rotation on the top. Okay, it is actually motor produces a rotation, and pump, it actually pressurizes or delivers the hydraulic oil to the system. Okay, this is two functions of the pump and motor. Then mechanical energy is converted into hydraulic energy. Okay, pump is a mechanical converter, so this actually converts the mechanical energy into pump and hydraulic energy. And motor, it utilizes the hydraulic energy and converts into mechanical energy. Okay, rotation is actually considered to be the mechanical energy. Okay, rotation, because of rotation we actually uses the rotation to for the function of many of the accessories or parts of the system, and because of which we actually convert the hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy in hydraulic motor. While I am talking about the hydraulic pump, it converts the mechanical energy into the hydraulic energy which has been utilized by a system. Then it is a power consuming device, it is a work producing device. Okay, as it is generating mechanical energy, it is considered to be the work producing device, and it is consuming because hydraulic energy has been generated. Then construction of pump and motor are similar, or both can be used in place of one another. Okay, just where to be concerned related to working area of the system. When I am talking about the hydraulic pump, it is generating mechanical energy, or it is producing work, okay, which can be utilized by further accessories or the parts or the components. But when I am talking about the pump, it is consuming the work or mechanical energy and generating hydraulic energy, which can be used by our further components. So we have to be concerned related to that thing only. Rotary actuators, these are the different kind of pumps and actuators. See, this is a constant single pneumatic actuator, and this is a variable actuator because we are having an arrow in between. These are the symbols. Okay, I am talking about the symbols which we are going to deal with them in the further hydraulic circuits. So this is a single acting, this is a double acting pneumatic actuator. Pneumatic because the arrow is not filled, arrow is empty over here. The emptiness of the arrow tells us that it is a pneumatic in nature. And when I am talking about a single, it is single acting, and when I am talking about a double, it is double acting. Then arrow, it tells us about the variable. So when anyone asks me about the symbol of the variable single acting displacement pump, okay, pneumatic in nature, so I can be able to draw this one, okay, because it is variable in nature, pneumatic and single acting also. This is related to the hydraulic because the arrow is filled, and also the it is having an cutting arrow or the inclined arrow which shows which depicts about the variable in nature. Thank you. We are done with our second lesson. We will move to our third lesson in our next chapter. Thank you.